What's up, guys? Search and right here, and today I'm reacting to Napoleon's Marshals Part 6. And by the way, I just want to mention a couple of things. First of all, the audio. First of all, I'm gonna get like a proper microphone, so that's gonna be good. Because I've been like watching my videos, and I don't know, the audio sounds really bad. My old headphones, the audio was fairly decent, but they broke. So that's unfortunate. But I'm gonna get like a proper microphone, guys, and so the audio is gonna sound amazing. Next thing, also, some of you in the comments, like I saw one particular comment in my video that said, "Oh, wait." It was like saying, "You paused the video too much." Like, and I guess because I like to, pause. God, what the heck? That was so loud. Because I like to, like, pause the videos and, react to them, give my insight. But then, if you look at my other Napoleon's Marshals videos, you have some people saying that I'm not giving enough insight. So, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing now, because obviously, I'm just gonna do what I want to do. Like, especially if I can't, because I can't appease both of them at the same time. I'm just gonna make one side even more upset. So I'm just gonna do what I want to do. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. But yeah, this video came out pretty recently. I was planning to react to it earlier, but I haven't really been uploading that much, mostly because of school. We're taking like exams and stuff, but anyways. Let's get started. That was a really long intro. Splitting this into two parts, because it's 42 minutes.
Terror belli, decus pacis. Terror in war, ornament in peace. The words inscribed on every...
Wait, is this the last episode? Wait, I'm not gonna... I think this might be the last or the second to last episode. No, I think it's the last one. Oh my gosh. I really hope they freaking redo some of their older videos, like Waterloo. That video was not very good, in my opinion. And their newer videos are fantastic. So it would be great if they could give an update. And then I would have more content to record,
Free French Marshal's baton. In France, the title of Marshal or Maréchal goes back.
Also, do y'all want me to skip this intro since on every episode, or do y'all want me to, like, watch it? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter since it's the last episode, but anyway.
Back at least to the 13th century. It represents the highest possible position.
I'm just gonna skip it since we've seen it all the other episodes.
According to our own, from Lieutenant Pérignon, Brune.
Oh, here we go. I'm gonna show
Grouchy, Moncey, Poniatowski, Jourdan, Bernadotte, Augereau, Lefebvre, Mortier, Marmont, Saint-Cyr, Oudinot, Victor, Murat, Bessières, MacDonald, Massena, Suchet, Ney, and Soult.
Yup, I think this is the last three guys. Also, like, is it normal for an army to have this many marshals? Like, how many marshals does an army usually have?
We're delighted to welcome back as our...
No, thank you.
Uniforms are...
Those look pretty cool, though. But, yeah.
Of a mad person. Vive l'Empereur! And thank you to NapoleonSouvenirs.com for sponsoring this
Thank you, Napoleon Souvenirs. Really appreciate it.
3.
Wait. Berthier.
Marshal Berthier.
Berthier. What? Did I hear that right?
3. Marshal Berthier.
Berthier. What? Bach. First of all, what letter is Bach? It sounds like, what? Bach, T-A? Where's... heck? Okay, French is an interesting language, and I can't pronounce half of these marshals correctly. No one else could replace him, Napoleon.
Louis Alexandre Berthier was born at Versailles, 10 miles from Paris.
Jeez, like, kudos to the person who had to, who could pronounce all this stuff correctly, because I sure can't.
His mother served at the palace as a chambermaid to the future Louis XVIII. His father was a colonel in the Topographical Engineers, a specialist corps of military surveyors. Berthier followed in his father's footsteps, joining the Topographical Engineers aged just 13, and was commissioned lieutenant at 17. He proved a talented and
17? What? That's young.
And was commissioned lieutenant at 17.
Lieutenant? At 17? What? 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 Okay, that's crazy.
He proved a talented and diligent staff officer. 10 years later, he accompanied General Rochambeau to America as part of French support to the colonists in their War of Independence, and witnessed the British defeat at Yorktown.
Thanks,
By the time the French Revolutionary Wars broke out, Berthier was a brigadier general with 25 years' service, who'd studied and given much thought to the problems of military organization and command. A reputation for outstanding staff work meant his services were in high demand, and he served as Chief of Staff to Rochambeau, Lafayette, and Luckner. But during the Terror, ties to these politically suspect generals put Berthier himself under the spotlight. He was stripped of his rank and not officially reinstated until 1795, when he became...
Also, fun fact, the guillotine was actually something that was seen as humane, because like all the other methods of torture before that were slow and painful. I mean, not the methods of torture, methods of execution, like really painful and slow. And the guillotine, you know, it's really quick. Just chop off their head and boom, they're dead, like seconds later.
Became Chief of Staff of the Army of Italy. A Chief of Staff led the Staff Section, which was responsible for turning the General's orders into action, by drafting written instructions which were sent out by courier, as well as every aspect of army administration, ensuring efficient movement and supply, and collating reports on the enemy, terrain, roads, and anything else that might affect operations. Berthier, building on recent trends in French staff practice, now developed his own comprehensive staff organization. He established 3 sections. His personal office or cabinet, mostly skilled civilian clerks who handled troop movements, transcribed orders, filed reports, and collated intelligence on enemy forces.
Oh, let me show you something cool for YouTube. Watch this. If you type the word awesome on the keyboard, look what this little thing does. It's pretty cool.
His private military staff, made up of aides-de-camp, liaison officers and couriers, and the general staff itself, headed by the First Assistant Major General, also divided into 3 sections. The first dealt with additional troop movements, plus auxiliary services such as hospitals, military policing, prisoners of war, and security of supply lines. The second section organized the army's camps and billets. The third section was the topographical section, responsible for maps and reconnaissance. The general structure of Berthier's system changed little over the next 18 years and proved uniquely effective at handling the challenges posed by a new era of European warfare. Its chief beneficiary would be the Army of Italy's new commander, Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon also discovered that his chief of staff possessed immense personal qualities, a heroic capacity for work, meticulous memory and attention to detail, and devotion to duty and discipline. Crucially, he had a gift for turning Napoleon's verbal, sometimes vague, commandments into clear, concise written orders that made sense to his officers and later marshals.
Dang. That's cool.
Napoleon and Berthier established a highly effective working relationship that would last until 1814. It relied on
1814. Oh my gosh! He was alive until only 1815. What the heck happened?
would last until 1814. Role. He played no part in devising strategy and never challenged or contradicted Napoleon except on points of logistical detail. When a friend queried his devotion to Napoleon, who was an extremely demanding and short-tempered boss, Berthier replied, "Remember that one day it will be a fine thing to be second to Bonaparte." Berthier's hard work and brilliant staff system underpinned all Napoleon's successes in Italy and beyond.
Well, I guess he was wrong since, Napoleon lost, but, yeah.
Spent so much time together, Berthier was nicknamed Napoleon's wife. He was personally brave too, leading an attack at Lodi and a cavalry charge at Rivoli. But his genius was for staff work and administration, not army command, as he well knew. When he briefly inherited...
I think it's funny how they, took the time to animate that dog, to draw that dog running around.
command of the Army of Italy in 1797, he begged Napoleon to return as soon as possible to take over. Berthier played a crucial role in planning Napoleon's Egyptian expedition of 1798.
They never made an episode about Napoleon's Egyptian expedition. Jeez, imagine wearing all of that in the desert like that. But, yeah, they need to make an episode on that. I don't really know much about this.
And masterminded his famous crossing of the Alps in 1800, which saw French troops advance almost 100 miles through the mountains in just 8 days. The same year, Napoleon made Berthier Minister of War, putting him in charge of all French military administration. When Napoleon proclaimed his new empire in 1804, Berthier was the first name on the list of new marshals, with seniority over all others. The next year, his role as Chief of Staff, or Major General of the Grande Armée, was officially
Dang, he looks different than his other photos right here.
Confirmed. In the fast-moving campaign of 1805, Berthier's system ensured Napoleon always had up-to-date information about the location and strength of his own forces, as well as the latest reports on enemy movements, from scouts, spies, and prisoners. Such advantages helped him achieve the stunning encirclement of Mack's Austrian army at Ulm. On campaign, Berthier and the Emperor often travelled together in the imperial coach, working without pause. His workload was immense, but so too were the rewards. Following the victory at Austerlitz, Napoleon made Berthier the hereditary sovereign prince of Neuchâtel.
How is this guy not first? Oh my gosh. How is this guy not ranked first out of all the marshals? He seems very incredible.
And Valenjean, with an enormous private income. Over the course of Napoleon's reign, he received endowments worth more than 1 million francs per year from the emperor, more than any other marshal. Yet Berthier remained a liability as a field commander. In 1809, Napoleon put him in temporary command of the Army of Germany. When Archduke Charles made a bold advance into Bavaria, Berthier's response was hesitant and muddled, and nearly led to Marshal Davout's corps being encircled. Only Napoleon's arrival averted disaster.
Oh. So this is what keeps him moving first, then. Returning
to his usual role as Chief of Staff, Berthier once more proved his exceptional talents, coordinating the movement of 200,000 men and paving the way for the Emperor's victory at Wagram. The title Prince of Wagram was added to his honours. The invasion of Russia in 1812 was a test like no other for Marshal Berthier and his staff. It required coordinating the movement of 500,000 troops, the biggest army ever seen in Europe. across a 400-mile front. "A simple private is happier than I," Berthier complained. "I am being killed by all this work." By August, it was clear the Grande Armée's supply lines were at breaking point, and Berthier was among those who tried to persuade Napoleon to halt the advance at Smolensk. He was ignored.
Oh, no.
As disaster engulfed the army, Berthier continued to perform his duty. By the end of the retreat, he was marching on foot with frostbitten fingers. When Napoleon left the army to return to Paris without him, he wept openly. Despite his own poor health in the wake of the retreat, Berthier worked hard to salvage the remnants of the army, and served throughout the campaign in Germany in 1813. By now, Napoleon's enemies had reformed their own army general staffs, partly inspired by Berthier's example. But neither Berthier nor his system was perfect. In May, a confusing order to Marshal Ney contributed to his late arrival at the Battle of Bautzen, and a missed chance to crush the coalition army. Berthier was also notorious for his jealousies and grudges. His pedantic vendetta against Jomini, Ney's talented chief of staff, drove him to defect to the Russians.
What?
Berthier must also bear some blame for the disastrous end to the Battle of Leipzig. He knew there weren't enough bridges for the army to retreat safely, but failed to press the matter with Napoleon. When the only bridge out of the city was blown too early, 30,000 men became prisoners. Berthier continued to serve Napoleon faithfully through the desperate defense of France until the Emperor's abdication in April 1814. The restored Bourbon monarchy showered titles and honors on Berthier. The king even gave him an honorary rank in his own guard.
Okay.
Napoleon's return from exile 11 months later put him in an impossible situation, torn both ways by his sense of duty and loyalty.
Torn both ways? What? We were like right with Napoleon that whole time.
He accompanied the king on his flight to the Netherlands, but was treated with such suspicion by the royal court that he left for his wife's family estate in Bavaria. There, a few weeks later, Berthier fell from a window and was killed.
What? It said he died in 1815, so I thought he died like in battle or something helping Napoleon. But no. He died. Oh my god.
It was most likely a simple accident, though some believe he killed himself out of guilt or despair, or, less plausibly, was murdered by French royalist agents. Napoleon had expected Berthier to rejoin him in 1815, and was scathing of his absence. "I have been betrayed by Berthier, who was just a gosling, transformed by me into some kind of eagle." But after his defeat at Waterloo, in which mismanaged staff work played an important role, Napoleon conceded, "If Berthier had been there, I would not have met this misfortune." Berthier had none of Murat's glamour, nor Ney's heroism, nor the tactical instincts of Davout. But he was the indispensable marshal, whose brilliant administration and tireless work were the foundation for so much of Napoleon's military success. 2.
That one's easy. Marshals Lannes?
Marshals
Lannes.
Lannes.
Oh, Lan? What's the half of his last name is silent. What? Half of his What? Half of his entire last name is silent. That makes no sense. Marshals Lannes. All you needed was Lan. What was the point of having NES? I don't understand. Anyways, he had truly become a superior. By the time he perished, I found him a pygmy, but I lost a giant. Napoleon. Look at that hair, though. Oh my goodness.
Jean Lannes was a farmer's son from Gascony who quit his job as a dyer's apprentice to join the local volunteer battalion in 1792.
Oh my gosh, he died in 1809? Oh my
Energetic and charismatic, he was immediately elected to be an officer by his comrades. The unit was sent to fight the Spanish on the Eastern Pyrenees front, where Lannes proved a brave and active officer. He distinguished himself in several actions and was promoted to command the regiment. Lannes was then transferred to Italy as part of General Augereau's division, where his bold, aggressive leadership won praise from General Massena and then a dago from General Bonaparte himself, who rewarded Lannes with command of a grenadier brigade in the army's advance guard.
Dang, that's nice.
A month later, at the Battle of Lodi, Colonel Lannes was first across the river, leaping off the bridge and wading ashore under enemy fire. At the Battle of Arcolay, he was wounded twice, but when he heard the French were retreating, he left the dressing station to lead a fresh attack, which probably saved Napoleon from capture or worse.
Wow.
Napoleon later presented the flag he'd waved
Whoa, look at his hair! Oh my goodness.
at the battle to Lannes, and a special bond was formed between them, based on mutual respect and loyalty. Lannes was promoted to Brigadier General, and in 1798 joined Napoleon's expedition to Egypt. He played a prominent role in the campaign, helping to suppress the revolt in Cairo and leading the assaults on Jaffa and Acre, where he was shot in the neck and only
in the neck? How did he not die from that? That is crazy. Like, musket bullets, they're crazy. Like, they're made out of, like, lead, which is poisonous to your blood. And they, like, explode inside of your body. Like, yeah, they, like, explode inside of your body into, like, little fragments. So, like, how do you freaking survive getting shot in the neck like that?
saved from certain death
Also, he's been wounded a lot now.
by his men, who carried him back to safety. At the Battle of Aboukir, Lannes' infantry worked with Murat's cavalry to inflict a crushing defeat on the Ottoman army. While recovering from his latest wounds in this battle, Lannes received painful news from home. His wife had given birth to another man's child.
What?
He
Wonder how they even found that out back in the day. Like, oh my gosh, imagine how many times, like, without genetic testing or any of that stuff, like, they could just do that and just get away with it. Like, I wonder how many times that actually happened in history.
He returned to France with Napoleon in October and divorced his wife not long after. When Napoleon staged his coup of 18 Brumaire, Lannes helped to ensure the army's loyalty. The next spring, Napoleon's army marched over the Alps into Italy. Lannes' vanguard led the way, and at Montebello encountered an Austrian force that outnumbered it 2-1. Lannes was able to win a brilliant victory thanks to crucial support from General Victor. Just 5 days later, his division played a key role in Napoleon's great victory at Marengo. Lannes never forgot a favour. He and Victor remained firm friends. But he also never forgot a grudge, was notoriously short-fused, and quick to perceive an insult. In 1800, Lannes remarried to Louise Antoinette Guernuc, daughter of a senator, with whom he'd have 5 children. He was also appointed commander of Napoleon's consular guard, but he was dismissed after General Bessières helped expose his mismanagement of the budget, for which Lannes never forgave him. In semi-disgrace, Lannes was sent as ambassador to Portugal, a short...
Wait, so how was he, like, the second best? Like, compared to the other one that was just... Compared to the other guy that was just discuss Bectier or something. Like, he doesn't seem that great.
Eventful spell in which, against expectation, his soldierly manner won over Portugal's Prince Regent. By 1804, it was clear that all was forgiven. Lannes received news that he'd been made a Marshal of the new French Empire, and orders to return to Paris for Napoleon's coronation. The following year, he took command of 5th Corps of the Grande Armée, forming the vanguard for the advance against the Austrian army in Bavaria. Lannes had to work closely with Marshal Murat, a bitter rival since a falling out in Egypt, but they put their differences aside. Together, they bluffed an Austrian commander into surrendering a vital Danube bridge by persuading him that an armistice had been signed. At one point, Lannes even snatched the fuse from a soldier's hand as he prepared to light the explosive charges. The day before the Battle of Austerlitz, Lannes' quick temper got the better of him. He demanded to fight a duel with Marshal Soult, who in his eyes had made him look
Marshal? But that's not a good idea.
foolish in front of the Emperor. Soult ignored the challenge. In the battle that followed, Lannes' 5th Corps held the left flank against Bagration's attacks, later pushing forward with the cavalry to help take 7,000 Russian prisoners. After the battle, Lannes was infuriated that Soult, and not he, was singled out for praise by the Emperor. Within days, Lannes had resigned his command and returned to France. In 1806, with tempers cooled, Napoleon summoned Lannes to rejoin the army for the war with Prussia. Back in command of 5th Corps, Lannes was as active, aggressive and brilliant as ever. At Saalfeld, he fought the first major combat of the war, routing a Prussian division commanded by Prince Louis Ferdinand. 4 days later, at Jena, Lannes opened the main French attack at dawn, with General Suchet's division in the lead. For 6 hours, his troops were engaged in furious fighting for the villages on the plateau, until finally, the Prussian resistance was broken.
Nice.
By December, the war had moved into Poland. Lannes attacked a larger Russian force at Pultusk, but it was a bloody, indecisive affair. Wounds and fever then forced him to convalesce in Warsaw, and so missed the Battle of Eylau. That spring, Lannes resumed command of the advance guard, as Napoleon sought out Bennigsen's Russian army, hoping to force a decisive battle. When Bennigsen located Lannes' apparently isolated corps near Friedland, he attacked. He expected an
Yes. Look how much they're outnumbered, and there's even more
but
coming.
Lannes, with support from future marshals Oudinot and Grouchy, expertly used his troops to fend off the Russians, while Napoleon raced to join him with the main army. Lannes'
That is not good.
delaying tactics allowed Napoleon to catch the Russian army with its back to the river and inflict a crushing defeat. The following year, Lannes was ennobled as Duke of Montebello and joined Napoleon for the invasion of Spain, despite suffering a serious riding injury en route. Taking command of Marshal Moncey's 3rd Corps, Lannes routed a Spanish army at the Battle of Tudela, sending the enemy fleeing in 2 directions.
Whoa, what? Look at the casualties.
Fleeing in 2 directions.
Oh, I thought it said 40,000, but still, that is a lot. That's like more than 5 or 6 to 1. That is crazy.
He was then given command of the siege of Zaragoza. Spanish soldiers and civilians defended the city with legendary courage, but Lannes' leadership and methodical house-by-house approach ensured ultimate victory at a high price. Even Lannes was left shaken by the savagery of the fighting, writing to Napoleon, "Sire, this is a horrifying war." Napoleon recalled Lannes for the war with Austria in 1809.
Okay, I think this is where I'm probably gonna end it.
His
Yeah, about right here. Well, thank you all for watching this first part of the last part. What else you want me to guys react to? I'm gonna be reacting to other parts of like Eastery's videos about how Germany invaded the Soviet Union, how the Soviet Union attacked back later in like 1942 and 3 and 4. So yes, yeah, probably we're in. Yeah, we're gonna. I don't know, guys. I'm tired. But yeah, thank you all for watching and goodbye. Hello everyone, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. And turn on the notification bell thingy. And if you didn't, then make sure to leave a thumbs down. But yeah, that would be greatly appreciated. And while you're at it, go ahead and watch my other videos. They're probably just as good, and if not better than this one right now. Except for my oldest videos, don't watch those. And, subscribe to these people down here, my fellow sergeants. They're other YouTubers that I either know or I have in high regards. Yeah, even my cat agrees. So, thank you for watching, and have a great day.